Today, we're talking about Justin Fields, who, in my opinion, I believe, is one of the most underrated and misunderstood quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Justin Fields was a great prospect coming out of high school. There was a lot of hype for him going into college. He was committed to Georgia, but at Georgia, he didn't really get too much playing time behind Jake Fromm and other quarterbacks. So after his first season with Georgia, he transferred to Ohio State, where he played 2 seasons. In 2019, his first season with Ohio State, Justin Fields, through 14 games, that includes bowl games, threw for 3,273 pass yards, 41 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. On top of that, he rushed for 484 yards and 10 touchdowns. So that's almost 4,000 total yards, and that's 51 total touchdowns. An unbelievable season from Justin Fields. In 2020, unfortunately, his season got cut short due to injuries, but he played 8 games. Not even 8 full games because of injuries. He played 8, so 7.5 games. Justin Fields threw for 2,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Great numbers. Obviously, the interceptions doubled, which is not great considering it was less games. But either way, if he was to play the same amount of games that he would have played the season before, he would have been on pace for almost 4,000 yards, passing yards, not even total yards, and just shy of 40 touchdowns. We saw from Fields in college that not only could he throw the ball, but he also was a phenomenal runner. His arm talent was absolutely unmatched. He can throw that thing down the whole entire field. His accuracy looked unbelievable, and his rushing ability was on Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen's level. What he was able to do in college football was something that very few other quarterbacks in college football have done. When you mix his passing stats with his rushing stats, he is one of the best college quarterbacks of all time. There's no doubt about that. In 2021, Justin Fields was the 4th quarterback taken. He was taken behind Trevor Lawrence, who went number 1 to the Jaguars, Trey Lance, who went to the 49ers, and Zach Wilson, who went to the Jets. Everyone knew Trevor Lawrence was going to go number 1. That was the consensus for the last few years. The debate was who was going to go after Trevor Lawrence. For a while, everyone was pretty certain that Fields would be the number 2 quarterback taken. But Zach Wilson had a really incredible year at BYU, and he climbed up the rankings pretty fast. And then Trey Lance, who didn't have as many games played as the other 2, had enough on film for the 49ers to trade basically everything away to take him. Looking back at this right now in 2025, none of these quarterbacks obviously have played to the expectations. Trevor Lawrence is still the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but he has not taken that next step, and he has been consistently an average to below average quarterback in the NFL. He's serviceable, but he does not look like a franchise quarterback. Trey Lance, his career is very unfortunate. I think everyone wanted to see him perform better than he had and play more games. He dealt with injuries since college and then into his rookie year and everything, and he wasn't really able to get too many opportunities. And then he finally did, and he looked like he was playing well, and then he got hurt. And then from there, it's just kind of been, he's been a backup quarterback. He's been bouncing around teams, trying to find his way back to that starting role, but it hasn't looked very good. And it's just very unfortunate to see someone with that amount of talent having that bad of luck. And Zach Wilson, you can make the argument that he's a bust, and you can also make the argument that a lot of that was on the Jets doing, and I'm fine with either of those arguments. Obviously, a kid who can run, who can pass, a lot of talent there, but he just wasn't able to showcase that in the way he wanted to and the way the Jets wanted him to. And then we talk about Justin Fields. Justin Fields, who was drafted to the Bears. In 2021, he only played 12 games, and in those 12 games, he threw for 1,870 yards, just 7 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He did not look very good. He looked unconfident. He did not look like the Ohio State version of himself, that's for sure. But people didn't really give up on him yet. Going into year 2, a lot of people predicted that he would break out. In 2022, he played 15 games. He threw for 2,242 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. On top of that, he rushed for 1,143 yards and 8 touchdowns. Those are Pro Bowl running back numbers right there. Obviously, passing stats could have been better, but he had a positive touchdown interception ratio for the first time, and he looked like he was finding his old self again. And a lot of people were like, okay, next year, is going to be that big year where he really takes that next step and he's going to be an elite quarterback in the NFL. In 2023, Justin Fields only played 13 games. He got hurt halfway through the season, but in the games he played, he looked pretty good. So he finished the season with 2,562 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. So a little bit better touchdown-interception ratio, more passing yards, and less games. And his rushing stats were still pretty solid, 657 yards and 4 touchdowns. If he played 15 games like the year before, it probably would have been 800 rushing yards and maybe 5, 6, 7 touchdowns. But he was starting to look all right. There was a lot of talk at this point about whether the Bears should keep going with Justin Fields or if they should draft Caleb Williams. Bears fans were pretty torn between this decision that they had to make. Bears fans were chanting, "We want Fields," after some of the home games that the Bears have played towards the end of that season. Those were the fans that really believed in Fields, and they saw the potential and the talent that he has. Keep in mind, when a quarterback plays for the Bears, nothing good happens. No Bears quarterback has ever thrown for 4,000 passing yards in a single season. If you look at the best Bears quarterback of all time, it's probably Jay Cutler. That is not who you want your best quarterback in history to be. So while people were expecting better numbers from Fields and a better record, it's really hard to do that when you're playing for the Chicago Bears. You know, a team that has not had a lot of success recently, especially no quarterback success. They didn't really have too many weapons. In Fields' last season with the Bears, DJ Moore came over, and that was the first good weapon that Fields had on the Bears. The year before, his starting receiver was Darnell Mooney, I believe. So Fields did not have a lot of help, and obviously, he could have played better than he did. But how much better could he have really played is the question. So after that 2023 season, the Bears did decide to draft Caleb Williams and ship off Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson was the quarterback for the Steelers last season, but he was missing the first few games of the year because of injury. So Fields started 6 games last season with the Steelers. In those 6 games, he threw for 1,106 yards, 5 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. He looked great, and in those 6 games, he went 4-2. That is a winning record. He never did that with the Bears. He looked awesome. And then right as Russell Wilson got healthy, they benched Justin Fields and they put in Russell Wilson. The Steelers didn't even give Fields a real chance. When he was in there, he looked great. He looked like a starting quarterback, and they just completely gave up on him. When I saw that Justin Fields signed with the Jets this offseason, I was so thrilled because I know Justin Fields can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and I'm so glad to see that he's not a backup right now. In week 1, Justin Fields had a fantastic week against the Steelers. In that week, Fields threw for 218 yards, 1 touchdown, and he rushed for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately, the Jets lost in a really close match, but Fields looked amazing. In the next week versus the Bills, he looked a little rough to start the game, and then he had a concussion in the second half of the game. But now we're looking at Fields, and he's about to play in week 4 against the Miami Dolphins, who are a very struggling team with not a great defense. I think Fields is really going to prove himself in this game that he is a starting quarterback and that people gave up on him too quick. And he's going to show why he was such a good prospect coming out of college. He's going to rush all over the Dolphins. He's going to pass all over the Dolphins. He is going to dominate this game. It really makes me mad when people say Fields isn't a good quarterback, he's just a runner. That is terrible. He's obviously had some accuracy issues, but his arm is undeniable. His playmaking is undeniable. His smarts, he can work on that, but he shows glimpses that he can make these outstanding plays. In college, I mean, like, how can you, I also don't know how you can say that after watching him in college. Those passing numbers, and if you watch the games, he's making tight throws. He's throwing to guys who aren't necessarily wide open. He's hitting it. He's throwing it to them right on the money. I've never understood the narrative that Fields can't throw, he can't read defenses, and that he's just a rushing quarterback, because that is simply not true. I'm excited to see what the rest of the season looks like for Justin Fields. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. Matter of fact, I'm a Lions fan, and in 2021, when we traded Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff in those draft picks, I didn't believe in Jared Goff. and I apologize because I'm a huge Jared Goff fan right now. He's been playing phenomenal. But I wanted the Lions to draft Justin Fields. I didn't trust Goff, and I was like, Fields is the future. And I do believe if we drafted Justin Fields, I don't know if we'd be as good as we are right now, but I think Fields would be great with us. That O-line and those weapons, he has never played with good weapons in a good offensive line before. I don't think people realize how much an offensive line helps quarterbacks. We've seen it time and time again. Caleb Williams is going through that situation right now. Obviously, it's an improved line from when Justin Fields was there, but he's getting pressured a lot. And I think Caleb Williams is a really talented quarterback, and he's going to be one of the best in the NFL. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take building that O-line to show what he truly is. And Fields has not seen that yet. But with that being said, I do think he's going to make it work with the Jets this year. And I think he's going to be their starter for the next few years. I don't see why he shouldn't be. Comment down below what you guys think Fields' stats are going to look like this season. I really think he's going to have a great season. I hope he does. I want to see what you guys have to think about that. And, subscribe. We're at 25 subscribers, and we're just trying to get more. So, yeah, thank you guys.